Now, this shows you how slave-minded men are. Here's this guy who finds out that how dangerous marriage is. He decides not to get married. Then he comes onto this Reddit, am I the asshole? to ask if he's the asshole for not wanting to throw his life away. He says, am I the asshole for berating my girlfriend's family when they wouldn't stop being judgmental? All right, Reddit, here to get my judgment. So I, a 26-year-old male, have been dating my girlfriend, Chloe, 26-year-old female, for 3 years. We started out as friends and have known each other since high school. She really is perfect for me in every way, other than her family, which is the cause for this post. If she's so perfect for you, buddy, how come she knew you since high school and isn't getting together with you until just a mere 3 years ago? 3 years ago, she would have been, what, 23? So, in other words, she's looking for a male provider. That's love for you. So when we first started dating, I was wanting to get married. But about a year ago, I switched that up. The reason sounds stupid. This will show you how slave-minded men are. But it just caused me to freak out. We were watching this show and talked about divorced men and their struggles. So these are real-life men talking about their issues in marriage. And it turned to me onto a couple of subreddits on here about men who got boned in divorces. So these are more real-life men talking about their issues. So, and that'll sound stupid for him finding out how bad divorce is, whether that be cheating spouses, alimony, or the freedoms men lose when they get married. I sometimes wish I never went down that rabbit hole. How is it a rabbit hole? Finding out how stuff works is a rabbit hole, right? I guess becoming a scientist is getting into a rabbit hole. But I did, and ever since, I've been very clear with Chloe, I don't want to get married. Okay, so he was clear with her. Right, exactly, and talk with her. Right. So remember that. So he's so slave-minded, he considers finding out how bad marriage is sounds stupid. Well, why get married when there's so much danger and nothing to offer, right? It sounds stupid, but I thought about it. I'm fine being life partners. You're not a partner. You're the servant. She's the boss. Having kids and all that. I told her this and she was very sad. So he's giving everything supposedly that women want in marriage, and it still saddens her, right? Because she doesn't give a shit about kids or any of that. She wants you to be her slave boy. That's what officially getting married means. This is how little this woman actually loves you as a human being. We did split up for a bit. She's upset. But she came back and said she didn't mind. What it is, she wanted him as a male provider. And she knows she's still going to get one, even if they don't officially get married. You don't need to be officially married to be married, by the way. It's called common law. She is fine with whatever life we build. Of course, because you're going to be the one building it, and she's going to be living off you. So that is what we've been doing. The issue, her family is nosy as shit. No, her family isn't nosy. They're attacking you. They hate your guts. They want you a servant. After getting questioned countless times about it, we finally sat them down, explained we don't plan on getting married. Her family lost it, saying that I was the one forcing this and a bunch of other BS. He was forcing it because he is a free person. He doesn't have to get married if he doesn't want to. Her sister especially is pissed. Of course, her sister is a man hater, and she uses men all the time. Right, exactly. And these people, pal, hate your guts. They want you enslaved to this woman who doesn't love you. Because she loves you, she wouldn't be sad for you saying you don't want to get married officially. We are at the barbecue this weekend, and sure enough, her sister's mouthing off. She's recently engaged and was throwing shade about how amazing it is to be committed. She isn't committed to anything. If you guys are honest about how things work, women don't lose anything in marriage. No, nothing is expected from women in any partnership with a man. Nothing. They're not expected to have children. They're not expected to get married if they don't want to. They're not expected to, if they have a child, they're allowed to abort the child. They're not expected anything. I got some side glances from her parents. So when she says committed, she means her mans are committed to her. I got some side glances from her parents. I looked at her and said, if you have something to say, go ahead. She said, you just wouldn't understand the feeling. I said, well, considering you've been engaged 3 times and married once already, I'm not quite sure you know the right feeling either, sweetie. Yeah, he called her out. This woman, engaged 3 times. Yeah, she's looking for the right provider herself. And she tossed the man aside. Who knows? One thing he's not mentioning is that guy she tossed out. Is he paying alimony and child support? Right. Her dad and mom then butted in, saying, I need to take that back. Of course, look, you don't speak down to your betters. A female is talking to a man. You just take whatever bullshit she wants to spling out at you, any attack. They said both, and I said, both y'all have been divorced before, so maybe stop being petty glances, look in the mirror. So he called these disgusting lowlives out. So her dad is a little go boy himself. He's been divorced and probably had to pay alimony, and he's dusted himself off and found her mother who's doing it to him again. Men have no, this is a person with zero self-respect. They know they have to pay women to be in their lives, and they don't care. I was done after that. Me and Chloe left. I know it's not smart getting into your girlfriend in with your girlfriend's family, pal. You didn't make a choice. They got it in with you. You either had one of 2 choices. You either fought back or you gave in and say, okay, we'll get married. That was your 2 choices. There was no middle ground. But I feel like they are crossing a boundary and felt like it had to be said. You didn't feel like it crossed a boundary. They were crossing a boundary. This guy's completely slave-minded. Chloe is staying out of it mostly, but I want to make sure that I'm not the a-hole. Well, you came to the wrong place, pal. You came to the wrong place. You know, if these people want you to be a little slave boy, the reason Chloe's staying out of it is because she's got you as a slave boy anyway. You know, so that's it. She isn't because she loves you. It's because she wants you there. She doesn't want to work for a living. Now look at the top comment that got over 9,000 upvotes. But as a male whose divorce literally bankrupted him, you're dumb as fuck for letting a TV show and some Reddit threads be the reason you're not going to get married. Right. So you're literally bankrupt from a divorce, that's not good enough reason, right? Okay. So this guy's found out the hard way that this guy has real life reasons, like his reasons for not wanting to get married. He's validating them. He's validating them with his own experiences, and then tried to devaluate them through saying it's just Reddit threads and TV show. These TV shows and Reddit threads, are they about fictional characters? No, they're about real life men. Take the time you need to be sure that your reason is flimsy. Man, these guys do not know how to type a sentence. This guy, pal, random brown guy, is that what you are? You just gave him a solid reason that you got divorced and was nearly bankrupt, because that's what it's about. The woman selected you for a little slave boy, and she's getting all her slave boy money. You're working for this woman, and she never loved you in the first place. For what it's worth, I said I was never getting married again. Losers say that all the time. This guy's a loser. Just hit 7 years with my girlfriend and will more likely propose in somewhat near future. Never say never. So you didn't learn from your experience, did you? So this guy is just like this girl's father who got divorced and said, well, I'll just dust myself off and build up enough money to bribe the next non-loving person into my life. Now look at this. It's probably a woman here. Exactly. OP doesn't once mention a single issue in his relationship or real life that would cause him to change his views on marriage. He doesn't need to have an issue. The issue is that he realizes that in divorce, men have no rights. Men have no rights in their marriages. So it is literally just an internet rabbit hole. That's a bold-faced lie. It's not a rabbit hole. Before the internet, men were complaining about alimony and child support, which is slavery, for generations, since the 1960s at least. This is known worldwide. So it's not an internet rabbit hole. This is a bold-faced lie. You don't lose freedom when getting married either. This is complete lie because this person admits that it is. You know, you don't lose freedom when getting married either. Yeah, I had an ex who waxed nostalgic about the times before being in a committed relationship and vaguely mentioned sacrifices ones have to make. One means the guy. I gave him all the freedoms by promptly breaking up. See? So this woman here didn't love her husband, just like this other woman, just like the OP's woman. She chose him for his typical male provider gender roles. She wasn't in love with him at all. And when he shirked at it, she dumped him because, again, wasn't there for him, right? So this woman's here just knocked this woman's lie off. Unless you really aren't committed to your partner, so I'm not sure where he's getting that idea from. Well, this woman just told you men do sacrifice. OP seemed like he just read some comics and a bunch of pissed off men. That's why I think this person's a woman. So these men being pissed off about being screwed over, that invalidates their arguments. Notice it, this is how much people disrespect men. If a man gets rightfully angry over being screwed over, they say your argument is invalid simply because you're angry. And didn't do any actual research into marriage in the laws of his states, how prenups work, any existing common law marriages where he lives. See, common law marriage should be outlawed. That's just the government saying, oh, you didn't commit, but we're telling you you're committed. So if a man is with a woman for any length of time, the government says he's married even when he didn't and forces him to be that woman's little slave boy. Why would he already did it? He already heard the experiences of other married men. That's what his research was. Not to mention, it seems like he didn't actually discuss this with his girlfriend at all. This is a lie because he already said up here that he did. So this woman is either lacks reading comprehension or they're just a liar. I suspect just a liar. And he just randomly told her one day that he never wanted to get married. How is it random? How would it not be random? He didn't random. He told her after he found out how vicious divorce is, how men have no rights in marriage. So that's not random. No, dude never heard of common law marriages either. Exactly. This guy is still married. That's why his girlfriend was willing to remain silent, even though she wants him to be absolutely committed. If he's worried about losing out in divorce, he can face the same things after a certain amount of years of living together. He's right. Thank you, Cookie Monster. Right. This girl should have taken the hint. He's just not that into her if he can so easily sway to not want to get married. This is Monster. Okay, this is a woman, all right. He is into her. He just doesn't want to throw his life away. So for her, in her mind, a man being into a woman is a man who has no self-regard, who isn't a free human being, who isn't an equal in any way to his partner, because it's not a partnership. I'm telling you again, it's not a partnership. And if they have kids and separate, it's no different than they were married. That's true. And I'm confused as to what he actually worried about that a prenup wouldn't cover. Two things again: prenup are thrown out by judges. It's happened so often. And secondly, if he's showing a prenup, that proves that the woman doesn't love him. He recognizes she's there for his servitude. I would be pissy with him too if I was her mom. Yeah, these people want this man to be her little slave boy. Not to mention the OP says, yeah, they will have kids. That takes away from the most freedom ties. Yeah, it will. But notice it doesn't tie down the woman, does it? A woman can have children, get a babysitter, and have a woman's night out, right? But it's women use men, you use their children to chain the man, or the man doesn't. The man wants the children for the children. The woman uses the children to get child support of the man to make him a slave. His reasons for not getting married are really flimsy. No, they're not. No, they're not at all. He has never been personally impacted by divorce, and it sounds like he doesn't know anyone in real life that was. You're full of shit. So this guy has to suffer divorce himself, as opposed to just looking at other men who've been divorced. And you're lying again, because he just said the woman's father was divorced. He said that his woman's sister was already divorced. So this is a lying sack of shit. She could get child support, insurance, all sorts of awards and cords if they have kids. That's true. Okay, so since they're admitting that, why is they going on about him not knowing someone who's been divorced or hasn't been divorced himself? Right. I've never been married before, but doesn't marriage also give you benefits of some kind? No, not for the man. An old coworker told me how he married his wife, he got stabbed and went to the hospital, and the bill arrives, and then his then girlfriend said, wouldn't it be nice if the bill was lower, like if we were married? And he asked if she was proposing, then she said yes and got married. So the government's willing to give a few benefits to chain a man to a woman. So this woman also used his injury to get him chained to her, which shows how much she doesn't love him as well. This doesn't mean anything because these same governments will destroy a man in divorce court. So they don't have a man's interest at heart. They're just offering a few minor incentives for men to shack up with women, and then they screw the man over because the man is not a human being to him. Now, I'm not going to read any more of this because look how vicious these lowlifes are in the comment section. I want you guys to realize that the average guy, this guy here, or this is UF Halep 10, this guy is a little slave boy. He wants to get together with a woman and somehow protect himself. He can't. There's only two modes of protection: not doing it or having a long stint in the MRM that's effective and have the MRM change society. And then you can get together with these people who don't love you. And even then, that's not going to be a solution, because if an MRM actually changed things so things would be equal between men and women in marriage, women wouldn't get married. Women don't get married anyway, half the time. But marriage would tank altogether if women were actual partners with men in relationships. So, I mean, I'm just letting you know all about this. So be warned. People hate men's freedom. I've notice I didn't skim through it. I just went one after the other. Every one of these people, especially this jackass who knows better, wants this man to be tied to this woman because they hate his guts. People don't like men. People think I'm exaggerating when I say that. I'm not. Anyone who wants you married hates your guts. And that definitely includes your loved one who wants to marry you. Okay, so I'm ending it here.